This video covers Lesson 1-8 Warm-Up of Secondary 1 Math, Solving Inequalities and Interval Notation. For each inequality, write the interval, then graph on a number line. Number 1, x is greater than 0. So in interval notation, we write this with x as an element. Then we think about what is the smallest value it can be. That's 0. But since it's just greater than 0, we're going to put a parenthesis. And it goes up forever, so going on to infinity, and then close with a parenthesis. That's our interval notation. Next, we're going to graph it. So 0 is our middle number. To the right, we have 1. To the left is -1. Since it is a greater than, we're going to do an open circle. And we're going to go to the right, to positive infinity. Number 2, x is less than or equal to 7. So x is an element from, and x is less than or equal to 7. We're going to go to from negative infinity to 7. And it's or equal to, so remember to put the bracket around the 7. Graphing, we have 7 in the middle, 8 to the right, 6 to the left. Here we're going to have a closed circle. And our arrow is going to the left to negative infinity. Number 3, x is greater than 20. So we start out by writing x as an element. And here's our interval. So greater than 20 means the smallest value would be 20, not included, so parenthesis, going up forever to infinity, and another parenthesis. Now to graph, we have 20 in the middle, 21 to the right, 19 to the left. We'll have an open circle, and the arrow goes right to infinity. Number 4, x is greater than or equal to -15. So we have x is an element. Notice it's greater than, so the smallest value would be -15. But it's greater than or equal to, so we're going to make sure we put a bracket here, going up forever to infinity, parenthesis. So our graph will have -15, to the right is -14, to the left is -16, and we're going to have a closed circle, because we're including -15, and going to positive infinity, so our arrow goes right to infinity. Okay, for 5 through 8, we're given interval notation. We're going to write the inequality and then graph on the number line. So we have our interval notation number 5 here. X is an element from negative infinity to infinity, which includes all the numbers on our number line. So we write this as all real numbers. To graph it, we're just going to mark a point on the line to give us some perspective. So here's 0. But our line goes in both directions forever. Infinity to the left and positive infinity to the right. Number 6, we have x as an element from -2 to positive infinity. So it's always good to remember that the x is coming into our inequality, and so is the -2. Next, we decide whether it's greater than or less than. And since this is a positive infinity in here, we know it's greater than. And then we check here, this parenthesis next to -2 means it's just greater than -2. So we've written our inequality. Now our number line, -2 in the middle. Then we have -1 to the right, -3 to the left. We'll have an open circle at -2, and our arrows pointing to the right to infinity. Number 7, x is an element from 18 to infinity. So we're going to go x and 18. Again, we have positive infinity, so it's greater than. So x is greater than 18. But right here we have a bracket next to the 18, so it's or equal to. So x is greater than or equal to 18. To graph, 18 is in the middle, 19 to the right, 17 to the left. We're going to have a closed circle for the or equal to part of our inequality. And we're going to draw our arrow to the right to infinity. Number 8, x is an element from negative infinity to negative 5. Again, so we have x and negative 5. Notice already this is a negative infinity here, so we're going to go less than, and we have a bracket next to negative 5, so or equal to negative 5. Graphing, negative 5 to the right, negative 4 to the left, negative 6. We're going to have a closed circle, and our arrow is going left to negative infinity. This concludes our video on Lesson 1-8 Warm-Up, Secondary 1 Math, Solving Inequalities in Interval Notation.